Bloody hell, kicking. Am I right? It's hard swinging your leg in a forward motion in order to make contact with what is essentially a plastic bag filled with wind in the hope that it goes in the vague direction of three poles with a net attached. Football, the simple game. While we've been fortunate enough to witness some of the greatest goal scorers of our generation represent Liverpool at some stage or another, that doesn't mean that they were without fault. Yes, even God made a few blunders of his own, and we will get to that. And in honour of Nunez leaving Liverpool, it felt timely to look back at some of those special moments where the finishing was as poor as Grimsby Town Centre. It's time to go beyond the Kop and look at Liverpool's 10 worst misses of the Premier League era. Please like and subscribe, guys, and make sure to follow me on Twitter or X or whatever from Musk till dawn is calling it nowadays. Number 10, Alvaro Arbeloa versus Charlton Athletic. Fun fact, this was Robbie Fowler's final match for Liverpool and the one and only game for on-loan goalkeeper Daniele Padelli. Don't say you never learn anything on this channel, just call me Lou Peter. Anyway, while the match was a smorgasbord of errors and mistakes, including the previously mentioned Padelli slipping on his arse while he scrambled to keep the ball out of the back of his own net, and the Charlton defender slip on the ball itself, losing it in his own final third, none were quite as shockingly skid as Alvaro Arbeloa's miss from inside the box when he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Now, yes, I'm aware this has happened a multitude of times before, and there are probably more famous ones that spring to mind, but at least with the majority of those, the ball is kicked vaguely on target or misses the goal by a fine margin. This is wider than Lily Phillips and is more offensive to watch. She's not even being closed down. What are you doing, Arbeloa? Number 9, Roberto Firmino versus Swansea City. In terms of talent, Roberto Firmino is up there with the likes of Pitbull and Your Mum's Mouth, but that doesn't mean the man with the best smile since Chip Skylark was immune from the odd howler. Playing Swansea City on the 22nd of January 2018, and let's be honest, this should have been an easy win, given the fact that Swansea were in the midst of that god-awful season, which saw them finish in 18th place under the management of Carlos Carvalhal, you know, Manchester United's future finishing spot. But actually, they battered us. We found ourselves 1-0 down going into the 94th minute when suddenly the ball is crossed into Bobby, the man who can do no wrong, the man who was as skillful as Ronaldinho after a bag of Snow White. He rose up, met the ball, and honestly, hitting the post from here is something that needs to be studied. Yes, lots of players have done this before, and yes, he was under pressure, and yes, Arsenal are but despite all these facts, this really needs to be going in. I love you, Bobby. I do. But number 8, Mo Salah versus Bournemouth. Even the king makes a mistake from time to time. Maybe he is a one-season wonder after all, who knows? Anyway, do you remember the 9-0 win over Bournemouth, which saw Scott Parker get the sack and also set a joint record for the biggest winning margin in a Premier League match? Well, it should have been the record breaker, but Mo Salah, obviously distracted by the nightmare that was his hairline, had a ball flashed past the face of the Bournemouth keeper. Not sure who, because if you concede 9 goals, you really aren't worth remembering. And rather than just simply tapping the ball with his foot, he decided to absolutely Darwin Nunez it. The ball sort of ricochets off the outside of his left foot because apparently Salah's right foot took a day off, and I just can't comprehend the thought process of the Mad King. Burn it all down, I say. Number 7, Christian Benteke versus Leicester City. Do you know, I was going to start this entry by saying how I didn't think Christian Benteke was that bad of a footballer for Liverpool, and I looked further back into it and started to get Vietnam-style flashbacks littered with scene of a man running at the speed of slow and shooting with the accuracy of a stormtrooper who's had a few too many pints on the town. It's Boxing Day 2015, all the families are together for the Christmas season, eating your leftovers and drinking so much that you turn games night into a scene from Reservoir Dogs, and you're watching Liverpool face Leicester City with 1-0 up in the final minute, and they send Schmeichel up to try and score from the corner, even though he will never be Alisson Becker. We manage to counter-attack, and the ball gets through to our big summer signing, Christian Benteke, who rather than shooting into an open net, decides to hold onto the ball too long like he's finally learned to love. He gives 2 defenders time to get back into the box before just tapping it into the leg of one of them, preventing the goal, and then Christmas was ruined. And in Anfield, they say Christian Benteke's ball shrank 3 sizes that day. Number 6, Mario Balotelli versus QPR. The first few on this list, yeah, sure, whatever, but we're getting into the bad section now, the kind of misses that make you question if life really is a simulation. And if it is, then why the was Mario Balotelli in it? It's the god-awful 2014-15 season. You all know the one where we sold Suarez and treated the rest of the transfer window with the calmness and careful planning of a man scrambling to delete his internet history. Super Mario turned up, and rather than launching fireworks, decided to launch the ball into row Z, with this chance presented itself on a platter so silver it could be used to kill vampires. We all thought, yeah, he's got this, before realising the man was a better person than he was a footballer, and he was a person. Fair play though, he learned how to counteract this apparent voodoo curse because he never kicked the ball in the vague direction of a goal ever again. Number 5, Darwin Nunez versus Luton Town. In a similar vein to Bala Tell Me Why We Signed Him, Nunez has produced some absolutely cataclysmic sized clangers in a Liverpool shirt, with the miss against Luton sort of signalling a major downturn in fortunes for the Uruguayan striker. We're away at Kenilworth Road, and with all eyes on a title charge, 3 points away at newly promoted Luton are of vital importance, a memo which clearly didn't get to the brain of Nunez, who, when presented with the opportunity to make himself a hero once again, decided to show his appreciation to the travelling fans by passing the ball to them rather than into the back of the net. Now, unlike Balotelli, there is pressure on Nunez, and perhaps you could excuse the finishing given the pressure on the striker at the time, but I will not let this be forgotten because I'm a and it's my job to remind people of the miseries of life. If you need further evidence, take a look at your home life. Number 4, Robbie Fowler versus Nottingham Forest. It's bonfire night 1994, and in a similar way to Benteke's missed against Leicester earlier, this took place on a holiday. We won the match 1-0, and the person who produced an all-time clanger of a miss was the winning goal scorer. I didn't mention that last bit for Benteke earlier because he ain't God and he never will be. The first shot from Jan Molby utterly the post and bounces so perfectly into the path of Fowler, it's like the ball's on rails, and he then just does well that. I get the ball was moving towards him at a speed quicker than Dejan Lovren could even move or comprehend, but take a touch, just take your time, don't take the piss. Number 3, Darwin Nunez versus Newcastle United. Look, I don't want to rag on Nunez too much. After all, he isn't Mario. The man at least had some terrific moments in a Liverpool shirt, but just like life, there must be an equal balance of order and chaos, meaning that for every late winner against Newcastle or backheel against Real Madrid, there was one of these, a miss so turd it almost broke Twitter. It was that incredible 3-3 match on the 4th of December 2024. Liverpool are going for a title, and the game is tied at 1-1, with Liverpool gaining a lot of their momentum early in the second half. Salah crosses in, Gakpo heads across goal, and the Nunez.exe performed an attempt at goal and must be shut down. I've seriously rewatched this at least 10 times. Did he miss the ball? Did he step over it? Did he become Ghost from Thunderbolts and go through the ball? I really don't know. Number 2, Maxi Rodriguez versus Chelsea. Oh, Maxi, I thought you were safe from one of these lists. For my money, Maxi Rodriguez does not get the credit for the role he played during the dark patch of time that was Liverpool during the early 2010s. A free signing who scored a couple of hat-tricks and was a fairly reliable option to have in the squad. Does that mean he was faultless? Well, it's a 2011 Liverpool team, so the only person without fault at this point was Steven Gerrard, and even then I think he wanted to cry every time he went into the changing room. We're playing Chelsea on the 6th of February 2011, and don't worry, we won the match 1-0 yet again, but this time it wasn't the person producing a miss of the season contender who scored it. It was Raul Meireles, if anyone cares, because Maxi, the man who scored one of the greatest World Cup goals ever, arguably, managed to hit the crossbar from 3 yards out, and now I'm sad. Maybe he wasn't expecting the ball to get through to him, I don't know, but the fact he managed to not even get the ball on target from 3 yards out with an open net in front of him just signals where we were as a club at this time. And number 1, Ronnie Rosenthal versus Aston Villa. It's possibly the most well-known miss in Premier League history. Seriously, until Torres did what he did against United in 2011, this was the benchmark of how not to score a goal. And if I'm being honest, with my opinion, which has as much sway as a brick in a gentle breeze, I think Rosenthal's miss against Aston Villa in 92 was worse. Torres is a bit out wide and momentum maybe carried him a bit too far and saw him panic. It's still shit, but I digress. Rosenthal's, however, is dead centre of the goal. He has no defender close enough to warrant him being in that much of a panic, and the ball isn't bouncing at all. It's so perfectly set up for him to tap it into the net, but he tries to absolutely blast it, and I just don't know what went wrong. The ball kind of hits his toe and maybe he gets under it, but it doesn't scoop or anything. The surface looks flat. I can't grasp how this happened, but it did, and it's the worst bar none. Maybe just, can we have a positive list next, please? And that's it, guys. Please make sure to click like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think the worst miss is, and leave video suggestions, and I will see you all in the next one.